Fasten your chin strap and put your pads on. Get a grip on the bat, here comes a fastball. We ain't going one and done, we're here to last long. This the top of the standards, get ready to blast off. Alright, let's do this. Bang! Bang! Every Sunday afternoon, big sports fanatics coming out your speakers like a piston running with magic. Game time status good to go is automatic. Ready for the blowouts and the instant classics. Calling all the teachers, all the fathers and the mothers. Calling all the kids, all the sisters and the brothers. Dynamic high schoolers in the game like no other preseason. Game 7s, hey, y'all know we got it covered. From the finals to the Super Bowl to the World Series to the Stanley Cup final. Over here we spit it clearly. Andrew Hale and Jotham Israel coming with the hottest topics. Hey, you know what's up with sports. People wanting it, we got it. Yeah, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on.
Yeah, top of the standards. That's what it's about, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, season 2 is here, baby. Yes, Jotham Israel and Andrew Hale, we're back and better than ever. Yes, we got a ton of sports to talk about, as always. And yes, I can rap. I produced the song, I wrote the lyrics, and I rapped it. That is my voice. Yes, you guys better believe it. But before we get started...
Have you ever wanted to create a podcast? Well, if your answer is yes, then download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right now. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Here, let me explain. It's free. Yes, free. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many others. Yes, you heard that right. It's that simple to get your voice heard around the world right now. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer to truly make your podcast perfect. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And lastly, get this, you can make money with no minimum listenership. Who doesn't like money? It doesn't get easier than Anchor, so again, head on over to your phone's app store and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. So, the NFL season is over. That was fun. All right, college basketball, Jotham. How is... I'm kidding. Jotham. I was talking, but I didn't talk too much. So I'm here to congratulate you on your first Super Bowl prediction that you got correctly. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not gonna go. I'm obviously, like you said, you didn't. Like you said some things, but you didn't go insanely overboard or anything like that. So, I mean, you're not gonna catch too many heat.
Thank you.
Maybe a little temperature check, but not like overheat or anything like that. After the Super Bowl, though, I did look back at our Voyager predictions, and
all right,
I cherish that so dearly because. I mean, looking back at it, I was the only one on the staff that not only had the Chiefs losing, but said that the Chiefs were not going to drop 30. Now, I said they were going to score 23. I mean, at least I said they were going to kick 3 field goals.
There you go. Dude, I'm so disappointed. What happened? What happened to the offense? I mean, I get that they didn't have an offensive line. I get that Patrick Mahomes was hurt. But Travis Kelce, Tyreek, come on, you got to get open. You got to make catches. Patrick Mahomes laid his life on the line. Essentially, that big toe could cause some damage. And his teammates couldn't pick him up. They couldn't catch a ball. They couldn't get open. Very, very unfortunate.
Now, the thing is, can we really use the turf toe as an excuse? Because we saw him absolutely destroy the Bills with the turf toe and going straight out of concussion protocols. So, and he said, that's not really an excuse after his post game. So that comes from his own mouth. But I mean, you would be foolish to really put the loss on Mahomes. Mahomes, like you said, he practically did what he could. I mean, yeah, there's not really much more you could. I mean, what do you expect for him to do? Just throw the ball away all the time? I mean, this is the Super Bowl, and with the deck of cards that he had against him, he had to do something. Yeah. So 497 yards of scrambling before passes was practically needed. You can say that oh, the Bucs defense was just that good. Patrick Mahomes was dazed and confused. Patrick Mahomes was trying to do what he could to give his receivers a chance, and the receivers, where were the receivers at? This was supposed to be the most loaded wide receiver corps that we have seen this season.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at those final drives by Patrick Mahomes, dude was literally horizontal to the ground and still making really, really good passes that should have been caught. So I don't know what to say for that offense. That was pretty terrible, and the Bucks they really ran through that defense. They really did. It was not it was in my opinion it was over in like the first quarter. I was like, this is not looking good whatsoever, and then it just
7-3?
dude, I could just tell. I mean, when you don't see the Chiefs offense clicking and really making solid drives, I'm like, this is not good. This is not good at all. And it proved right. It proved right.
Yeah, and my thing was like everybody just got absolutely proved kind of wrong. I mean, me personally, I thought the Bucks secondary was, iffy, a little bit sus. I mean, I've been saying the Chiefs defense was sus all year, and it took until the last game to prove me right. But I always thought, that Buck secondary was kind of, adequate. It was adequate enough to get you to the postseason. But man, oh my gosh, that secondary proved me wrong. That secondary came to play. Whatever Todd Bowles cooked up, it was genius. I'm talking Dexter, Jimmy Neutron type genius. It was that was a masterful game plan that they put up. And I mean, you can't ask for a better defensive performance. I mean, when was the last time Patrick Mahomes was on the field and his team didn't score a touchdown?
Well, I remember the last time he didn't throw a touchdown against the Detroit Lions last season, a game that the Lions should have won. But nonetheless, I couldn't tell you. I can tell you it's probably been quite some time.
Yeah, I think I might even have a tougher time figuring out when the Chiefs team as a whole didn't score a touchdown in the whole game. Yeah, that was bad. When was you know what I was about to say? When was the last time a team didn't even score a touchdown in the Super Bowl? It literally happened the last time the Super Bowl was on CBS. So CBS, you've had 2 duds in a row. That
Ugly.
is tough.
Ugly, man. It's very disappointing. I mean, for you, I bet you were excited. For me, I was excited for the Bucks. I was happy for the Bucks. I was just very, very disappointed for the Chiefs. I wanted a closer game. I wanted a more exciting game between these two quarterbacks, and we got the exact opposite.
Yeah, after the game, I was just shook. Like 31-9. Is this really the final score of the Super Bowl? They couldn't even get into the end zone. One of my friends, he looked back at the Seahawks Super Bowl. And he said, "Well, Jotham, all I gotta ask is who's going to be intercepting Patrick Mahomes at the 1-yard line this time." I'm like, dude, the Chiefs aren't going to be stupid enough to have that happen. That would just be insane. But crazy enough, it actually did happen at the end of the game when nothing really mattered anymore. Devin White did intercept Patrick Mahomes at the goal line. And that was just basically the dagger in the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. That was Drew. I could. Oh yeah, bro. Antoine Winfield is a GOAT, is a legend for that. He is a legend for that. I loved it when he did it so much. Everybody was initially like, "Oh, what poor sportsmanship." Oh, if they only saw what Tyreek Hill did in Week 12.
I liked how he backed it up too. He said, "I'd do it again." I enjoyed doing that. That was. I'm glad I did that. I was like, okay, I can respect it. If you're backing up, your trash talk, I'll respect it. I'll respect it.
Do you know the NFL actually fined him for that?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like they did Tyreek Hill as well when he used to throw up the peace sign on his way to the end zone. They fined him for that multiple times over the years. So I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Yeah, that is so soft in my opinion. I think that is extremely soft. I mean, let the dudes, let the dudes be them, man. I mean, I would understand if they're like celebrating for 15 seconds in your face and just following you to the sideline. Okay, that might be a bit excessive, but just something as simple as throwing up a peace sign, like "see you later." Come on, man. Come on, NFL.
I don't think we should be too surprised. I think we always knew that the NFL was soft. Remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when every time a team would celebrate, they would throw a flag, and then they had to reconstruct the rules. So, oh, now you can celebrate. It's allowed now. So I'm not surprised. The NFL is very soft.
That just sucks, man. But everybody was obviously focusing on, including me, Patrick Mahomes versus Brady. Brady versus Mahomes, round 5. This is for a lot of the marbles. The GOAT talk and this and that, blah, blah. I honestly wish they could have just focused more on Bucks Chiefs, but you know what? I mean, the quarterback matchup was so intriguing. It's just like you can't really look away from it. And well, a lot of the sports analysts on the big shows like First Take and Undisputed and First Things First, they were all over. Can Patrick Mahomes ever be the GOAT? Can he ever be the GOAT? And this and that. And some people emphatically said no. Some people said yes, even though it's nearly impossible, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, dude, this is so toxic. The dude is 25 years old. Not everybody, just because his GOAT chances have been diminished doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback all of a sudden. Like, come on, man.
I wouldn't even say his GOAT status or chance to become a GOAT has diminished. Look what he's done already in his career. Has any other quarterback done that?
Exactly.
No.
It's like you just don't. I mean, one Super Bowl loss. I mean, I'm pretty sure when Tom Brady lost to the New York Giants the first time, everybody wasn't like, "Oh, Tom Brady's trash. He's trash." I mean, he won 3 Super Bowls before he even lost the Super Bowl. So how can you say he's trash and he still has 3 rings on his belt? On his fingers, 3 rings on his belt.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be funny because let's say Patrick Mahomes makes it the next 3 years, then everyone's going to be like, you know what, I was wrong, and I think he will be the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. It's ridiculous. Come on.
Bandwagonism at its purest. I'm telling you, man. This Super Bowl was. I got to see the ratings, man. I got to see the ratings because. The quarterback matchup, just the names Brady and Mahomes and the attention it brought, dude, it was crazy. But I mean, at least the Chiefs fans were treated to some pretty nice commercials. I gotta say, props to State Farm for that commercial. Drake from State Farm, that was genius.
You enjoyed that one?
Dude, that was pure. Now, it would have just been insane if the Packers and Aaron Rodgers were in the Super Bowl. But you know what? That just goes to show that, well, Tom Brady 2, State Farm 0.
Yeah, that's funny. Aaron Rodgers, come on. Actually, no. Stay how you are. I mean, continue to lose in the NFC Championship game. I'll take it.
I'm telling you, man. Just imagine how different the Super Bowl would have been if it wasn't Chiefs Bucks. If it was Bills Packers or Bills Bucks or Chiefs Packers, I feel like it would have been something entirely different. And obviously the GOAT talk has been mounting up. I'm pretty sure if it was anything but Brady versus Mahomes, there would be not much GOAT talk going on. It would just be like, Mahomes is better than Rodgers. Rodgers is better than Mahomes. This, and that. They both have run ring. The other's going to get 2 at the end of the day, blah, 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 blah. But, me personally, like you say, you congratulated me about my win. I'm so glad to have that monkey off my back. There are a couple of people that said that this was not going to be the year that I get my first Super Bowl right. This was not going to be the year that I predict the Super Bowl correctly. I'm going to have to shave my facial hair off again if I ever step foot in that echelon again. This, and that. Jotham this, Jotham that. Jotham just called the Super Bowl right. So to all those people who are absolutely on my head about that, minus Drew, because I respect Andrew, you better stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, hey, stop playing with Jotham, because in the end, when you talk too much, you see what happens.
Yeah, this has been the football postseason that has been centered around you talk trash, you get clapped. It all started with Dabo Sweeney in number 11. Then it continued with I won't say the Seahawks talked all that crap, but I mean, Seahawks fans were pretty confident that they were going to smoke the Rams because they're division champions and they had just beat them 2 weeks ago and yada yada this and that. Jared Goff, there's no way that Jared Goff with a surgically repaired thumb is going to beat the Seahawks in the playoffs. Blah blah blah. This and that. That happened, and then obviously the Saints fans were talking. We beat you twice. We smoked you the second time. We'll beat you the third time. Didn't happen. Then the Packers fans were all like, you know what? We got the NFC Championship at home. Let's get it. No, Aaron Rodgers stayed right at Lambeau. Didn't go to Tampa. Didn't go back to Tampa. And then, obviously, I'm not even going to lie. I know there were some, crazy, theories about the Bills, including myself. I will say that I really honestly thought that the Bills could beat the Chiefs. Obviously, we saw how that turned out. And, obviously, I mean, you shouldn't talk trash about the Chiefs before you actually beat them. That proved well. Well, one last thing I will say about the Super Bowl is that I am curious to know about your stance about the never bet against Patrick Mahomes theory.
Hey, I did it look like I ever, didn't bet against Patrick Mahomes? I'm going to continue to never bet against Patrick Mahomes because at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, just like the Browns is the Browns.
I forgot about that too. How could I forget the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's why I had to bring it up. But in all honesty, yes, I'm going to continue to never bet against Patrick Mahomes because even though he lost, he still played like a high caliber quarterback, in my opinion. So win or lose, I'm never going to bet against him. It's not just because he lost and I'm like, maybe he's not that good. No, he's good, and I'm going to never never bet against him.
Well, I guess considering that I have one and you won one, based off of that theory, I mean, I guess I'll continue, betting against him in the playoffs when there is a reasonable chance that he is going to lose. I guess I'll keep betting against him now that this is an actual 50-50 rivalry instead of just Jotham, you're never going to get a Mahomes Super Bowl correct. Now that we have some history behind it, I guess I'll continue to bet against him just for the heck of it, but only when logically possible. Like I saw the Bills and I thought that offense could outscore them. It obviously didn't work out, but at least the Bills beating the Chiefs was a possibility before the game actually started.
Yeah, I suppose, but again, it's not just because I'm never going to bet against him because he won a Super Bowl. It's because he's a good quarterback. Even in the regular season, whoever he plays, I mean, there's always a chance. The Chiefs always have a chance to win whatever game they're in my opinion. That's why.
Yeah, it's kind of like LeBron plugging in LeBron to any random team in the NBA. I mean, Mahomes is going to make that team a contender. I mean, a lot of people were talking about the dynasty is dead. The dynasty is dead. I mean, for one, I don't know if the dynasty has – I won't say it hasn't started, but it just hasn't, really fluctuated. I mean, you need that second title, of course, but, I mean, the Chiefs are right there,
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots lost 3 Super Bowls, and they're still considered a dynasty. There's only one.
Yeah, you even look at Brady's, those 4 years – between Super Bowls 36 and 39. Brady won the Super Bowl the first year. They didn't even make the playoffs in 2002. Then they won back-to-back Super Bowls in 03 and 04, and that started the dynasty. So considering that Mahomes won, like first 2 years, Brady won the Super Bowl, didn't go to the playoffs next year. Mahomes made the Super Bowls in 2 consecutive years. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. If they go back-to-back after this, I'm going to be heated because I might have just sparked it with that theory, but it is what it is, man. I'm excited. I can't wait for the offseason. I can't wait for the draft. I can't see how other teams start to develop, and I gotta wonder if teams are gonna start stealing the Bucs formula. Hopefully Mahomes, and I don't think this is gonna happen, but I really hope that Mahomes does not end up like Jared Goff. Not Jared Goff is in Detroit, but Jared Goff has sincerely regressed since going to the Super Bowl against Brady and stuff like that. I hope that doesn't happen. It better not, or else there's going to be some major head scratching.
I'm going to be honest with you, no chance.
Okay, I'm right there with you. I guess we'll talk about college basketball. Look, the insanity is still going on. I mean, 3 overtime games yesterday. 3 marquee, big time, noteworthy overtime games. I feel like the rankings are going to take like another Cupid shuffle.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I mean, some of the lower ranked teams like Loyola Chicago, they're still moving up. They're still playing well. And it's funny because weren't you talking about Drake last week? And then hours after, they finally lost. So I could see some more random teams getting in there. It has been quite crazy. And obviously, the committee, they released their top 4. It's kind of interesting, in my opinion. Michigan.
They're locking horns with Wisconsin at the moment. It's gonna be that's gonna be funny. The battle of your 2 most overrated. I won't say. Would you say hated teams in the Big Ten college basketball?
No,
Wisconsin and Michigan.
I don't even think Wisconsin's that overrated. I mean, I'm not a big fan of anyone else besides Michigan State, but I will say my 2 hated are Ohio State and Michigan because that's just Michigan State's like rival.
Okay.
Like I couldn't care less about Wisconsin or Iowa or Purdue, but I definitely do not like Ohio State or Michigan.
Okay, that I guess it does carry over from football. But yeah, you mentioned me mentioning Drake. 2-game losing streak. They got mollywopped by Loyola Chicago last night. And they actually have a double header. They played yesterday and they'll play again today on ESPN2. And I'm just like, well, I hope I don't get another 81-54 because that definitely caught me off guard. I mean, yeah, Drake. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, now everybody's like, oh, Drake is in the top 25, automatic bid in the NCAA tournament. Well, they lose 3 in a row. Now their tournament hopes are kind of, in question because, obviously it's Drake. I mean, who have they played compared to, the Power 5 teams? That's the argument that they're always going to use when talking about these random teams that, sneak in top 25. So yeah, dude. I mean, a lot of college basketball mayhem, of course. I probably should have kept my mouth shut about Drake. I was just merely acknowledging that they were still undefeated, and now they lost 2 in a row.
It's unfortunate. I mean, they talk about the announcer jinx, but what about the podcaster jinx? This has happened multiple times by both of us. We've talked about a certain team and they just fall off. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess they don't want. I guess nobody wants the spotlight. When we talk about them. I guess our lights are just too bright.
All right, Michigan, you're really, really, really good team. Really, really good. You're gonna do so well if you make that first seed. I really hope maybe UMBC sneaks in at that at that 16 seed, becomes your opponent, because I think that UMBC would really, really be just an easy matchup for you guys. So Michigan, continue to play exceptional. Good luck.
What about the rematch of the Final Four, Loyola Chicago?
That can happen too. Michigan, hey, be prepared. I mean, I think Loyola Chicago isn't good at all. They're really, really, really bad. And Michigan, you're really, really good. So if you guys meet somewhere in the tournament, easy win for Michigan.
Michigan's not that good of a team. I think their number 3 ranking is over. You automatically told me. You really don't want Michigan to win.
No, not at all. Not at all. I've seen more Michigan appearances in the March Madness championship, the finals, whatever, than Michigan State in my life, which is sad. Two times. At least,
Two times too many.
Two times. Two times is way too many. Come on.
Okay, I guess.
Way too many.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Big Ten tournament. Watch some random team like Indiana or Wisconsin just come out and just
Northwestern.
win. Oh my gosh,
They're not bad. Northwestern isn't bad.
Yeah, Northwestern isn't. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not that good either. But,
no.
I mean, we'll have to see what Rutgers can do too. I mean, there's so many teams that
they're inconsistent, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they'll get ranked and then lose. That's essentially what has happened all season.
Yeah, I don't even know at this point. Like we've been saying, the Big Ten is the best conference in college basketball.
Yeah,
best.
I mean, it's pretty clear when you have this many teams that ranked in the top 25. I mean, it's just very, very competitive. Obviously, our two teams are anything but competitive. So,
yeah, it's all good though. You still got the tournament, and then you end the season with welcoming Michigan to the breast. So that could be a win that you.
Oh, you hear that, Michigan? That's a really, really good matchup. Michigan State's terrible this year. Really, really bad. So Michigan, easy win coming up at the end of the season. Good luck.
Oh dear God. I'll wait a couple of weeks to say what I have to say right now. But
see, this is why it's a win-win situation. Let's say they win, I was right. Let's say they lose, I was also right.
Not even just right. You're just ecstatically happy that Michigan would lose to Michigan State.
There you go. Win-win.
But dude, I want to acknowledge Creighton.
Yeah.
Creighton absolutely destroyed Villanova. What? That came out of nowhere. I almost forgot that game was on the schedule.
I'm honestly not surprised. It seems like Creighton gives teams like Villanova every single year problems. No matter who they play, if they're playing a ranked team, they're going to give them problems. It's going to be very difficult for them to get blown out. Obviously, Villanova, it's kind of weird because, in my opinion, I don't think enough people are talking about them this season. It's really odd. Usually, they're the best team in the country, blah blah blah. But this season, they're kind of sneaky. But Creighton, that's year after year, they're always going to be competitive. So I'm not too surprised with them blowing out Villanova. They're always going to give teams problems.
Yeah. Now, my question now is, how many blue bloods are going to be left out of the NCAA tournament? Because this is continuing to be a little bit of a struggle.
Right now, give me your outs right now. Who's out?
Duke.
Yep.
Kentucky.
Yep.
For sure, Kentucky.
Yeah.
There's no way There's no way if Kentucky doesn't win the SEC championship.
Can they even get over 500 at this point? Maybe. Can they even get over 500 at this point? Right? How many games do they have left? How many? What is their current record? I know it's not over 500.
No, they're under 500.
Yeah.
They just snapped a 4-game losing streak against Auburn.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many games they have left. I mean, there's only 2-3 weeks left in the regular season. So, 2 games per week in college basketball, ideally. So 6 games left, maybe. Either way,
yeah.
The only way Kentucky's getting in is if they win the SEC tournament. That is the only way. Only way.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough road. And what is your next out? I have a feeling it's something's gonna be coming.
Oh gosh, are we talking about teams in the Big Ten or blue bloods, or are we just?
I mean, I was leaning towards blue bloods and teams that have historically good organizations, colleges, franchises, schools.
I think Michigan State will get in. I think Michigan State will still get in.
Really? I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised because they do have a record over 500, but they just aren't good. They just aren't good.
I just feel like they'll get that one win over somebody that'll just be like, okay, this team is back in the playoff field on the right side of the bubble and stuff like that. That's just the Big Ten. I just feel like they're going to get that one win over some top 10 team and just say, hey, we should be in the tournament field. Put us in because we're Michigan State.
I could see it. Maybe. It may be below 50% chance of happening in my opinion. But hey, if it happens, it happens. It's all right. But I'm not expecting anything from them.
Yeah, see what sucks about this is that Duke sucks. Because Michigan State beat Duke, and we thought that was such a great, such a good win, beating Duke in their crib.
Yeah, they started off 6-0 for the first time in years.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, back when they were number 4. Yikes. Yeah, that just sucks. But overall, I can't wait to see the rankings drop tomorrow. I'm gonna be gazing. The Big 12 is also interesting. Is anybody gonna stop Gonzaga and Baylor? I mean, there's just so many. I can't wait for March Madness. I just can't wait. You can't. I want it. I want it so bad, bro. Is it just me, or am I thoroughly convinced that the Phoenix Suns are a playoff team?
I don't think it's just you, because I would agree. I do think they have the makeup to make the playoffs. I do think that they are a playoff contending team. Championship contending team? No. But I do think that they can make the playoffs. I really do. I think they can also maybe pull out a series like the Nuggets last year. It'll be tough, but I do think that they have a good team. I do think that they have a chance to make some noise, but again, they're good. They are good. They aren't great. They're good.
I knew CP3 as soon as the news broke that CP3 was going to Phoenix. I was like, "Oh, this team finna pull an OKC."
Yeah, I mean, just look what he did last year. You mentioned OKC. He turned that team, who was supposed to tank, who was supposed to trade away CP3 before the season even started, decided to keep him, and then they make some noise going into the playoffs. It was a very impressive run. I don't think anyone should discredit CP3. I know he hasn't ever really done too much in the playoffs, but he is a really, really good player still at his age, and he can still turn a team around.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you got guys stepping up. I got introduced to their team like for real when they beat the Bucks. After they beat the Bucks after Giannis dropped 47. Oh my gosh, and they still found a way to win. That's scary. That is scary. And then they turn around and beat a healthy Sixers team. So last night, oh my gosh, you know what? I really do hope the Phoenix Suns can upset the Lakers if it comes down to that. I am like this year's Phoenix Suns. I know it's impossible, but alongside the Jazz, this year's Phoenix Suns are my Denver Nuggets of last year. I would root for them so hard because not only have they never won a championship, but I just really like their roster, man. I really do.
Yeah, I've always liked the Suns as well. I've always liked their franchise. I always root for franchises that really haven't done too much, similar to you in like the NFL. But like the Suns and the Kings, those two teams, I've always kind of hoped they got into the playoffs. Last year, the Suns, we all know they should have been in there. We all know they should have been in there, going perfect in the bubble and still not making the playoffs is a crime. But I don't know. The Western Conference is interesting. Obviously, I'm surprised that you didn't bring up the Utah Jazz first because I think they've won like 19 out of their last 20.
Yeah, they've won 7 in a row too. After that one loss in between, dude. Look, I'm not exactly buying into the Utah Jazz are automatically going to beat the Los Angeles Lakers, but they keep playing like this consistently. I think they have a pretty good chance, but my thing is, you got to stop. Gobert has to be able to stop AD, man.
Yeah, not just AD. I mean, he really, other than being a really good defender and a really good rebounder, offensively, anywhere outside of the paint is going to be very difficult. So that's why I have some concerns because we've seen centers like that in the recent past 10 years. They really haven't been able to do too much. Usually now in the new age of the NBA, most of the best centers in the league can stretch the floor. I don't think we've seen Rudy Gobert really do much of that. So it's really going to be tough to beat a team like the Lakers, in my opinion. I do think they're a good team, but again, we had this conversation last episode. I don't think they can get over the hump of teams like the Clippers or the Lakers or other teams like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we're wrong. I really do. I really would love to see, like, just like the Chiefs. I don't really, rock with, back-to-back championships and stuff like that. I just want to see a new team win every year. But you know what? If this Utah Jazz team keeps on doing what they're doing, and even if they snatch home court, Drew, look.
I think home court's different this year, though. You got to think about that. So
it's definitely different, but you know what? You know what's not different? The difficulty of your opponents. Because look, it's a big difference between playing the Denver Nuggets and the Golden State Warriors. I think that's a big difference.
I would think so, but I don't know because the Nuggets, they have an MVP candidate in Nikola Jokic, and it's just. I don't know. But look at Golden State. They also have an MVP candidate, Steph Curry. I mean, this dude is going off. So far, he is my MVP right now. Steph Curry. He's been going off night in and night out. I don't know. I think people are sleeping on the Golden State Warriors.
Oh yeah. That's definitely Kelly Oubre got off to a bad start. He missed like his first 11 3-pointers or something like that.
Yeah.
He's been
and then they played the Pistons, and him and Andrew Wiggins decided to go on tears. Ridiculous.
But you know what? Maybe that's what teams need to.
Oh yeah, they need the Pistons to come in and be the worst team in the league. Hey, I'll take it. Hey, Pistons continue to be very, very bad. Fade for Cade.
Okay, I am thoroughly convinced. You know what? I think the Magic should tank for Cade too. Come on, Magic, get Cade Cunningham.
Hey, no. No. I don't think they should do that. Honestly, I know I'm wearing a Magic shirt, but come on, please let the Pistons have something nice, please.
Let the Magic have something nice. What have we done?
You guys have been really decent these past few years.
Are you serious?
I am very serious.
Okay,
I am very serious. I would honestly consider they've had a better team than the Pistons in the past decade, in my opinion.
Okay. I can't argue with that one because we're just now. We were just now starting to get decent, like Eastern Conference playoff worthy, already weak enough conference. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But I was just toying around. Obviously,
I know.
If we get Cade Cunningham, oh my gosh,
then I might have to keep the shirt on forever because I guess I'll have to switch to a Magic fan then.
I would be thoroughly convinced that the lottery is just
rigged. It is rigged. It is rigged. We all know it's rigged. Like
I didn't even.
Think about it. Would the NBA ever let another team besides the Cavaliers draft LeBron James? No, that would have never happened. Why is it that the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to win that lottery and draft, the hometown superstar?
Dang.
There's no. Think about it.
Dang. That's a good point. That is a brain blowing point. Oh my gosh. I had completely forgot that they drafted a bust right after that.
Yeah. Because think about it. Let's say, the Detroit Pistons get that first pick. Who do you think they're going to take? Obviously, it's obvious. I mean, LeBron James. But instead, they take... I don't even want to say his name. Let's move on. This is getting ridiculous. At least they won the championship, but it's all right. But the Eastern Conference, interesting as always.
You know what? I am praying to God that I get this playoff series, and I want this series more than I want a Lakers-Clippers playoff series. I know this is shocking, but you know what? I want to see Nets versus Knicks. I want to see it.
I honestly, wholeheartedly think that the Knicks could give the Nets some problems.
You know what? I would love for that to happen. I mean, a lot of people are going to think, bro, the Nets are nonstop and KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Look, the Knicks actually have, they're actually first in the NBA in points allowed per game. They only allow 103.3 points per game. And obviously the Nets, okay, they average a buck 20, 0.9 and stuff like that, but dominating offense versus stifling defense that nobody really knows about. You know what, Drew? That would be very interesting. And we haven't seen the Nets, for real in the playoffs before with these guys. So, obviously, can they handle the pressure? And I mean, obviously, dude, look, the New Yorkness of the series would just be enough for me. But the fact that there would be actual intrigue in terms of the players on the court, oh my gosh, I would love Nets Knicks.
Yeah, I would agree as well. I think that the rosters may change between now and the start of the playoffs because I really do think that the Nets need a big man. They really do. I mean, whether it be Andre Drummond or, Kevin Love. Those two, if one of them, was picked up by the Nets, I do think that team would be very, very tough to beat because DeAndre Jordan, he's declined. He is, since his Lob City days, he has not really been too impressive to watch. So and they need defense. That's I mean, it's clear. They need defense. Obviously, they have three fantastic offensive players, but on the defensive side, it's not good. And since we last talked, they were beaten by the Pistons. So the Pistons are here to take out any good team in the NBA. I mean, they've beaten the Celtics twice. They've beaten the Sixers. They've beaten the Lakers. They've beaten the Suns. Who's next? They've beaten the Nets. Who's next?
I don't freaking get it, man.
But then they get blown out by 20 to the Cavs.
Oh, it doesn't make sense, man.
No,
it doesn't make sense.
How they have the craziest stat. They have they obviously have the worst or one of the worst records in the NBA. But with their terrible record, they have the highest winning percentage over teams with the highest winning percentages. So technically, they are the worst best team of all time. Isn't that crazy?
Dude, it makes no sense. I mean, I understand it, but dude, that's insane how the Pistons are so good against the best teams. Oh,
bro, literally, they're finally. I think this. Open your eyes. This is the first time we've ever seen a team really properly tank. Teams like to lose. They like to lose bad, but the Pistons are winning to good teams, but are losing to bad teams. If that's not a tank, I don't know what is.
That's insane because if you're good enough to beat the Lakers, you should be good enough to beat the freaking Timberwolves.
Nope, they're executing the tank to perfection.
That's insane. And let's just wait to the lottery. Washington might spoil it all at the end of the day, but who knows?
No, it's going to be someone random like the Bulls.
The Bulls are stuck at number 7 in the lottery usually. They finally broke through with number 4 last year.
Yeah, the Warriors, if they don't make the playoffs, dude, I could see it happening. It's gonna be someone crazy. I mean, they basically got the first pick, second pick last year, but I can just see. You're right. The Pistons have always been notorious for being terrible drafters, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, hopefully something can happen, man. But I'm just looking forward to seeing the weird playoff teams that we haven't really seen in a long time. The Hornets, the Knicks, maybe the Hawks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even the Kings. The Mavericks are starting to, try to, build something up again and stuff like that. Spurs are trying to, bridge the gap, trying to maybe start another 20-year streak if they need to. And obviously the Suns. But yeah, dude. This league is awesome. The competition is now. I wrote a column as soon as KD left Golden State. The competitive balance is back.
Yeah,
it's back.
Yeah.
Speaking of competition, my guy, can we just acknowledge that the NHL is consistently putting up, entertaining games, left and right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not often you see games like 8-0 and 6-2, but there have been some very, very competitive games, as you just mentioned, high scoring games as well. Overall, so far, the NHL, they're having a good season so far. Hopefully, it continues.
Oh yeah, dude. Look, I was watching Jackets Hawks last night, and it went into overtime. And Patrick Kane got, I think he stole the puck in the Jacket zone, and he had like two defenders, dude. And this, what's his name? Alex DeBrincat. He had one of the swaggiest goals in slow motion that I've seen in a long time. I'm just like, wait, this dude just unalertly had the puck bounce off his stick, and he just bats it into the goal out of mid. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
It's
whoa.
it's always so impressive when, players do that, how they're able to deflect it perfectly. I've never understood that watching hockey for so long and players get in front of the puck and taking their stick and making it deflect into the net. It's really it's a skill. It is a skill.
It makes no sense how they're able to do it. It's just like it takes so much hand-eye coordination, and it's just like, how do you do it with such precision? Like you have to do it. You can't do it too early because then you'll absolutely fling it into the air, but you can't do it too late because then you'll just spike it back onto the ice. And
Yeah.
it's just like that's crazy how they just line drive. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I think in hockey, if you're the best team, you're not really the best team because anything can happen. Like that's it's just the way hockey goes. I mean, one bad deflection can ruin a season. Like think about it, Game 7, and a puck gets hit off the boards, off a skate, somehow redeflects off a stick, and it goes in. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't blame it on the goalie. That's not skill. That's not skill. It's pure luck. Anything can happen. That's why I think hockey is very, very underrated, and I think for the most part, depending on, obviously I can't say that the Red Wings have a chance to, win the Stanley Cup or Ottawa win the Stanley Cup, but obviously you have to have talented players to win games, but also you need to have a lot of luck as well.
yeah, I've seen some crazy things, and I've only been paying attention to this league for 4 years, 4 or 5 years now, and it's just like, is that really how often crazy stuff happens in the NHL? I mean,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it is. I mean, it's exciting to watch too. Also disappointing if you're on the losing side of a crazy finish, but I don't know. Hockey's very underrated, similar to another column you wrote. But I don't know. I don't know. I've enjoyed the season so far, even though the Red Wings have not done well. At least they won last night against the Predators, a really really nice win, impressive win. Hey, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, I will never forget when we beat the Capitals in Game 7, double overtime. That had me. Oh, you should, dude. Literally, I can't stress this enough. Some of the best moments that our sports teams have had. I won't say our sports teams, but just sports in general, dude, happened the year before we even stepped foot in the class together, dude. I
That's I
was
was
like,
gonna say. I was like, the Red Wings and any other team, they haven't really been that good for a while. But I know what you mean. There have been some crazy, crazy moments. Hopefully, those crazy moments continue into the playoffs and in the future.
yeah, I really am hoping for it. But you know what? I'm still proud of my Canes. We're 9-3 right now. We got 18 points, and we still have played, only 12 games. I'm liking where we're at.
What did I
I'm
say?
just
What did I say? You were doubting your own team. You're like, I don't know if they'll be able to sneak into the playoffs. I told you they are a good team. They are a very good team.
I low key thought the Predators were going to be better. That's why. That's a
I
big
mean,
reason why.
the Predators are good, but I just don't. I think the Canes are better. I think the Canes are very slept on. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, I mean, if we're beating the Stars, it's just like,
Yeah, that's
you know,
impressive.
I'm happy. If we're beating the reigning Western Conference champions, I'm glad.
Who are still very very good this year.
Oh yeah, which it's still crazy to think that they're in the same division as us.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny because I believe the Stars are actually in the Central Division, and like the last year was 97, I believe. So all of these teams, I think, have been in the Central Division before at one point, which is insane to think about.
It's like they just needed the geographical flashback,
Yeah.
you know,
And
to Kirk Panda.
another random thing that is similar to that, that's probably going to blow your mind as well. This is an entirely different sport. I'm getting off track, but the Brewers used to be in the AL Central. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
They used to be in the American League?
Yep. Isn't that crazy? So just think about how the divisions are lined up right now in every sport. They probably fluctuated and changed.
Okay, I was old enough to know that the Houston Astros used to be in the NL Central. Now
Yeah.
they're in the AL West. I had no idea that the Milwaukee Brewers were not only in the AL Central, but they were not in the National League.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you because I think they were the last time they were in the AL Central, maybe the '80s. So I can't blame you. I also think that's just a crazy stat to think about, and divisions around sports that have changed and fluctuated.
Wow, I never would have guessed. I mean, I'm not shocked with the NFL because the NFL is such a big sport, this and that. Like, I know the Seahawks used to be in the AFC West, but oh my gosh, I did not know. That caught me off guard so badly. I had no idea the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, some teams you just look at and you're just like, oh, that's an AL team. Oh, that's an NL team.
Yeah. Hey, that's fair. I understand, and I was also kind of, mind blown when I first heard that as well. I mean, it kind of makes sense. They are in the Central. AL, though, is interesting how they flipped, but nonetheless, hockey's crazy. We got some crazy divisions. I'm excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah, you keep on talking about them Canadians. We keep on talking about the Montreal Canadiens. You're still waiting for them. You'll see.
You'll see.
Okay, dude. That's my weekly reminder.
Okay.
That,
That's fair. Understand.
Your weekly reminder that Jotham. I've seen the Montreal Canadiens get off the hot starts and get off to cold finishes. Cold finishes. So you just wait. I still need to see it with my own eyes. I mean, I have never paid attention to the Montreal Canadiens more than I have right now.
That's fair. Hey, I understand. I get it. You'll see, though. You'll see. Hopefully. I'm going to be completely wrong. This is going to backfire.
If the Canadiens don't make the playoffs, I want the Flames to take their spot.
Okay.
Because I need my Floyd. I'm telling you, dude. I need my Oilers Flames. I need it.
I agree. Classic series.
Oh, but yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this league is awesome. I'm glad I just bumped into this league like 45 years ago. I came in at the right time. Hurricanes were starting to become good again. Oh my gosh. Whew. Wow. All right, Drew. Time to get to our MVPs and LVPs. Who is your MVP?
You're really, really going to hate this one. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's going to be the Dodgers. I mean, signing Trevor Bauer and then re-signing Justin Turner. Come on. They're keeping their core players as well as adding on to the team. So, if that's just impressive to me. If you're able to keep your core players and sign superstars as well, they're bound to go back to back in my opinion. Nonetheless, I think they're doing a very, very good job in free agency. Trevor Bauer, reigning NL Cy Young winner. They're looking good again. I know you hate the Dodgers. I know you dislike teams going back to back, but I don't know, man. I had to pick them because I've just been impressed with their signings. I mean, obviously they've traded away some players. Some players have signed elsewhere, but none of them are bound to really affect the makeup of this Dodgers roster. They're really containing their core players, their star players, as well as getting better at the same time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I muted you the entire time. No, I'm kidding. But dude, as much as I hate the Dodgers, I think they did do a really good job with free agency and stuff like that. Signing Trevor, but I don't know. Of all the teams, why? There were 28 other possible places.
All right, let me ask this question: Would you rather watch, or would you have rather wanted him to go to the Yankees or the Dodgers? I know my answer.
The Yankees.
No way. That is gross.
Dude, look, the Yankees have been signing dudes, giving big contracts, spending big money, and they have been underperforming like a mug. I would have clowned them if they signed Trevor Bauer and then lost in the World Series, or even they didn't even reach the World Series.
Okay, so that's fair. That you would have wanted to clown them if he signed and they were bad. I get that, but from a standpoint, I just think the Yankees they've won too much. They've won too much. Their history. They have over like 25 World Series championships. It's ridiculous. They just let's be bad for once. I know you've been making the playoffs and you haven't really performed, but let's see you at the bottom of the standings. We're at the top right now, but let's see you at the bottom.
Okay, I see what you mean. Like, I don't like the Yankees, but I don't hate them.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's fair because you really haven't seen them really be good or terrible, so
yeah, I haven't seen them do. I mean, I know if this was the early 2000s that we're in, okay, that's a completely different animal we're talking about. Oh gosh, they won 3 championships in a row. I would have been done for.
Yeah. Oh, if you would have witnessed if you could live forever and you were born like 1900 and you were living to this date, you'd probably be sick of the Yankees seeing all those championships, dude. They have had some legends play on their team, which is pretty cool, but that's to be expected. They're the most historic MLB franchise. I think if I have a hat in there, but if you were to show a Yankees hat to a random person who wasn't a baseball fan, I'm pretty sure they would be able to tell you that hat is the hat of the New York Yankees. So
synonymous with just championships and stuff like
greatness,
that.
I guess. It's gross, but you have to acknowledge it.
It is what it is. Okay, but yeah, props to the Dodgers for making the rich richer. I hope it backfires like it backfired the Kansas City Chiefs. Screw you. Let's go Mariners.
Hey, that's fair. I'm not rooting for the Dodgers. I'm just saying they did a good job. That's all.
They did a good job. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But let's go. But let's go. Somebody beat these guys.
Yes,
please.
Yes. Padres.
Freaking Tigers. Come on.
Padres.
Tigers. No, just okay. You know what? I would actually love that because then they would go on a Nationals type run, do on some Washington Nationals type stuff.
Yeah, the Padres have made some noise too.
Oh,
nonetheless, let's get to yours.
Yeah, my MVP is the Phoenix Suns. I have to give these boys props because the Phoenix Suns have been a mockery for as long as I've paid attention to basketball, bro. I'm so glad to see the Phoenix Suns do good. I feel like they can be a serious threat in the playoffs. I feel like they can be, but they just have to be more consistent. And I've seen some consistency. They've won 5 in a row. Of course, kick-started with a win over the Pistons. But you know what? They've beaten the Sixers healthy. They've beaten the Bucks healthy. They've beaten the Celtics healthy. And they've beaten the cream of the crop of the East when they were healthy. And I'm just like, This Suns team is finally for real. We can finally consider this team a true playoff contender, and I'm loving every single minute of it. I'm loving it.
Hey, I understand. We essentially already talked about it. I've already said my piece on the segment earlier, but I do think they are a good team, and I do think that they can make some noise in the Western Conference for sure.
Oh yeah, come on, Suns, beat the Lakers. Come on. All right, let's get to our LVPs. I feel like there were a lot of choices we could have chose, but Andrew, who is your LVP?
I'm going way off. This is gonna be a name that hardly anyone has ever heard of. But last night I was watching the UFC prelims, and then this certain LVP really caught my attention. His name is Rodolfo Vieira. I had to put on the accent a little bit. But do you know what jiu-jitsu is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's essentially wrestling with the main goal of causing your opponent to tap. So either choking him out or stretching out his arm, making him tap. Essentially, so this Rodolfo Vieira, he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So he's the top of the top. He is also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. Okay, his record in his MMA career 7-1. In the UFC, it's 2-1. So last night he was fighting an opponent by the name of Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who was a plus 400 underdog, plus 400, which is
Plus 400.
which is no surprise. It was by far the biggest underdog of the night. Fluffy Hernandez, biggest underdog, which is no surprise because he's going up against a former Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion and also I learned this last night, but Rodolfo Vieira is an ADCC gold medalist, and that's essentially submission fighting world championship. So he is a submission champion as well as a jiu-jitsu black belt world champion. So no wonder he's favored by that much. So obviously in his fight, he's gonna go and try and utilize his jiu-jitsu. Well, if you've never watched wrestling, it is very tiring. So he tried to utilize his jiu-jitsu and wrestling the entire first round. And by the second round, he was so tired that he couldn't even put up his hands he couldn't even put up his guard. So he was literally he was a punching bag. By the end of the first round, he was so tired he couldn't even put up his guard. So in the second round, it was so bad to watch. He was literally running away the entire time, couldn't even put up his guard, getting absolutely destroyed. And by not even the end, by the middle of the second round, his opponent, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, got him in a choke, and he could hardly tap. He could hardly tap because he was so tired. This Brazilian black belt jiu-jitsu world champion, submission world champion, tired himself out so much that he couldn't even defend himself in the second round.
So basically his greatest strength turned into his biggest weakness.
Exactly. I guess he didn't run on the treadmill enough. I guess he didn't get proper conditioning in. But the craziest part is that his opponent, by submission, the odds on him winning by submission was plus 2,200. 2,200 for his opponent to win by submission, and he beat the odds.
Wow.
Oh my god, it was kind of embarrassing to watch because when you're favored by that much and you let an opponent who's only 2-2 in the UFC beat you by your own tactics, it's embarrassing.
See, it's one thing to introduce a random guy into fighting or anything like that and say this guy is just took an L because he was such a heavy favorite, lost. That's one thing. It's another thing if your opponent beats you by using your own strength against you.
Dude, and you're a black belt jiu-jitsu black belt world champion, submission artist, one of the best in the world probably, and you get submitted. And it's crazy to think. I saw another stat. He is the first ADCC gold medalist, so submission fighting world champion, to lose via submission in UFC history. Everyone else who has a gold medal in submission fighting has been undefeated. They haven't been undefeated, but they've never gotten submitted, and he is the first.
Dang.
So
they've lost or by some other means, but they've
got
never
knocked out or lost by decision, but they've never gotten submitted. A guy who is one of the best submission fighters in the UFC loses by submission, first time ever.
Wow. That is an L.
Yeah, your opponent's nickname is Fluffy.
He didn't sound so fluffy that night.
Nope.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to bring that up. I knew it was going to be a little bit different, but it's just it's crazy. It's crazy to think how that's literally. I should just hand you the LVP. a word.
No, that's a good LVP. That's one of the best LVPs that we've had.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is an L. But my LVP is a bit more common. I'm giving my LVP to Tyreek Hill. Bro, this man was an absolute non-factor. And not only and that wasn't that's not the reason that's not the lone reason I'm giving him the LVP. I mean, yeah, he had 2 catches for 13 yards in the first half when the game was, being close to over by halftime, even though you looked at the first quarter and it's just like, uh-oh, they're not getting anything going. This is going to get ugly. But dude, not only was he not a factor until garbage time, bro, Antoine Winfield, very much like what's his name? Rodolfo Vieja. Bro, Antoine Winfield hit him with his own game, pieced out on him, and it was just like poetic justice after what Tyreek Hill did in Tampa Bay. And dude, the main reason a lot of people forget about this, Tyreek Hill, when he went off for 269 and 3 touchdowns or something like that, bro, he grabbed the phone on the sideline and called for help and told the Tampa Bay fans that don't worry, help is on the way. Help is on the way, bro. Not only did you almost lose that game, but you got murdered in the Super Bowl. You got murdered in the Super. I guess he was right. Help was on the way because Devin White also got on the phone mocking you and said, "Paramedics, on the way. We just kicked this. You know what?" I'm just like, yo, the Buccaneers are hitting Tyreek Hill with his own sauce, and it is embarrassing. It was absolutely just embarrassing. I'm like, this is absolute. This is beautiful. It was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Yeah. It sure was for some fans, but I respect, like I said, I respect him backing up his trash talk. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk trash and you back it up, that's respect.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be mad at that if you're gonna talk trash and just get outplayed. Then it's bad look. It's bad look, but he backed it up, so I respect it.
Yeah, that was so cool because everybody thought. I mean, I had no idea that they were. I don't know how because everybody was talking like, if you double Tyreek, then you got to leave one on Kelsey. If you double Kelsey, you got to leave one on Tyreek. And somehow
I said that. I said that.
Oh, you did?
I said that. So, so yeah, call me out. I know. I said it. I'm outing myself right now. I said it.
Yeah, but even with that, they still couldn't get anything going until the Bucs just played straight soft coverage, making sure that there's no quick deep strikes and stuff like that. And, I mean, come on, man. One of the Tyreek Hill's longest plays of the night was that 3rd and 33 where he caught the ball at 5 yards from the line of scrimmage and then just ran, made it a 4th and 9. I'm like, dude, the stats were so deceiving. Stats were so deceiving for Kelsey and Hill. But Tyreek Hill takes the LVP because of just, I mean, it was just a good old fashioned L. That is a textbook L.
Yeah. Hey, these were some good LVPs.
Oh yeah, we've had some good ones, man. Oh wow. All right, let's get into some trivia. You got a trivia question for us about the Detroit Red Wings, I believe?
Yep, this one is actually kind of perfect because I was talking about, earlier in the show, I was, making fun of the, Michigan and how good they are, right? Well, this one, this was actually reverse jinxing. When was the last time the Red Wings won a game without Jonathan Bernier being in goal?
I saw that the Red Wings won a game recently. I don't know who was the goaltender, and I don't know whether or not Jonathan was in there or not, but I feel like he wasn't, so I'm going to say something like maybe 500 days.
That's actually very close. 467 days. So, October 29th, 2019 was the last time the Red Wings won a game without Jonathan Bernier being in goal. It was Jimmy Howard, who just retired. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. In just 2 hours after we recorded this episode, the streak was finally broken. They won a game without Jonathan Bernier being the goalie.
I knew it because I saw that they won a game, and I'm like, he told me that because I know in hockey, like they have backup goaltenders. Like goaltenders don't start all 82 games.
Yeah, not usually. Very
Yeah,
rare.
not usually. So I'm thinking, wait, is this a game where the Red Wings didn't have that guy that Drew was talking about in goal, and just so happened it was. Oh
Yep.
my god.
He was out with an injury for the past 2 weeks, and they finally were able to win a game without him in goal. So, respect to the Red Wings. Congratulations for finally breaking that horrible streak.
Wow. That's props. I respect that. I guess they got a good backup, right?
He is good. He's played very well, but he's gotten no goal support, which is really unfortunate because he's played really good throughout the season. Very, very, very impressive, goaltending. But his team just can't score. So he's bound. I mean, in hockey, we hardly ever see shutouts. So, I mean, he's bound to give up a goal. I'm not, it's not all on him, but it's crazy. I mean, I don't know why that streak even existed. It's insane to think about.
Yeah, that sounded like a pretty frustrating stat.
Constantly watching Jonathan Bernier win. No other goalie can do it.
Yeah, maybe he should start all 82 games.
I guess so.
Just for the sake of presence.
Yeah. To not have another streak like that again.
Wow, hopefully not. But my trivia question, fittingly enough, is pertaining to Tom Brady. Now, we know he's got 34 playoff wins, but obviously we know about his losses very well. So my question to you is, who is the only AFC team to have a winning record against Tom Brady in the playoffs?
I honestly think I know this, and I'm pretty sure it's the correct answer. So I'm going to hold off on my answer for next week.
Okay. I see what you mean. I mean, there's a lot of teams that look at Brady like we have dominated you at times. I mean, you think of the Dolphins, you think of the Jets at some but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But obviously, postseason is a different animal.
I have an idea. I could be completely wrong, but just for the sake of making it a cliffhanger, I'm gonna hold off till next week.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, that's it. It's a very interesting question because it's like, I mean, Tom Brady rarely loses in the postseason. I mean, compared to how much he wins, he rarely loses.
I want to shout out two quarterbacks, Eli Manning and Nick Foles. Thank you guys so much for stopping Tom Brady from getting to 10 championships. Those two quarterbacks are the real heroes.
Wow. And to think, you know what? I said it last week that nobody outside the NFC East can beat Brady in the Super Bowl. I can't believe I was still right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, you can always say that as a Bears fan. We have that guy, who stopped Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, if we would have ran it back in December, we would have been killed. We would have got But no, I'm dead serious. We would get
Hey,
the Bears.
you beat the Super Bowl champions though. Congratulations.
Dude, we were 8-9 in the season. They were 8-9. And oh my gosh. I can't believe the Bears actually still won that game. Oh my gosh. We thought these boys were for real. You know what? I'm saving the Bears rant for the draft. I'll save the Bears rant for when we draft freaking Mac Jones or somebody like that.
And O-lineman.
Oh my gosh. Freaking please just draft a quarterback so we can just start a new era. But you know what? We've talked about a lot today. Obviously, with the Super Bowl gone, an NFL season over with, football is going to be put on pause until August, so we get to focus on some basketball and some hockey.
Yeah, I like it. I like the sound of that. It's also very almost refreshing because not many people. I couldn't tell you. I don't think many podcasts out there are talking about hockey like we are, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, especially a lot. I mean, sorry to bring race into this, but how many black people do you know that pay attention to
Right.
football, basketball, baseball, and hockey at the exact same time
Yeah.
with the
Exactly.
an even level knowledge for each sport.
Yeah, exactly. Diverse catalog for sure, and on
Yeah,
top of the standings. Let's go.
a podcast full of diversity.
There you
That's
go.
what it's all about. But yeah, dude. Obviously, sports is booming. But maybe hopefully we can get back in the stands. I can attend a freaking game for once. Um, maybe guarantee rate field can open up a little bit.
Yeah.
I can go to a Sox game or something like that when I grow up.
Yep.
I'll be going to college in Chicago, not too far. So,
You'll get there.
as a matter of fact, I think I should announce my commitment. I think I should proudly announce St. Xavier University. You know what I'm saying? In Chicago. I'm going to be staying, close to home. I have way too much unfinished business to deal with in this area. So, yeah, I'm staying local, baby.
Hey, congratulations, man.
Yeah, I didn't think the college. Look, I'm a senior. He's a junior. There will never be an easier college process in your life, ever.
Yeah.
It sucks for me to say that, but man, I can't tell you how easy the college process has been. It's been overwhelmingly easy.
Hey, congratulations. I'm excited to see what you end up doing.
Yeah, I'm excited too, especially with this podcast too.
All right. Same time next week.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or whatever you're using to listen to Top of the Standings. Give us a like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and then give us that 1, 2, 3, the big 3 follows on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. This has been Top of the Standings, episode 27. We keep doing this every week. We'll see you guys next week then. Peace.